It looks like a war zone in this entire area. It's going to take a long time to process this scene. What do we already know about what happened here?
Our sources tell us that the Dinox clan teamed up with the World Crew in order to take down DD clan and KUUC clan, as well as their allies. Most of what you see here is what's left of DD and KUUC clans.
It must have been a real dogfight. There's not much left of DD and KUUC clans from the looks of this scene.
Our sources tell us that the survivors of DD and KUUC clans are mostly in hiding, or have retired completely from their KU clan. From the looks of this area, this was a real bloodbath. Our sources also state that DD clan has a habit of bringing members of 4 to 5 other clans with them into every war, and that this is why Dinox and World Crew teamed up in this war.
Wait, you're telling me that DD and KUUC clans suffered this level of heavy losses even with the help of multiple other clans?
Yes. However, as you can see, the help from these other clans did not seem to affect the outcome. DD clan clearly had significant casualties, and this crime scene tells us that KUUC clan was completely obliterated. The war went so badly that immediately afterwards, their leader retired. Most of their other members haven't been seen since, although it doesn't look like many survived.
What's up, guys? You know who it is? It's World Crew. This time we are back as special guests of the Dinox clan. They actually have a scheduled war today with DD, KUUC, KURC, AR, and DMC clans. And they invited us to join them because DD has a habit of always showing up with members of 4, 5, 6 different clans. They actually merged a bunch of clans into DD because they, I guess, got tired of us telling them why they keep showing up with 5 clans to fight World Crew. So you know, it's fine that they're showing up, but we figure maybe at least 1 or 2 of our clans can show up when we're fighting them because it's always the same. But anyway, it's gonna be a fun war today. Let's see what happens. Fighting with Dinox today is AngelDinox, PabloDinox, RosameelcachoDinox, RealDinox, MineDinox, EliezerDinox, RagdeDinox, EnekoDinox, GhidorahDinox, RodanDinox, HugoDinox, AndyDinox, porreta, aka ArdenDinox 1, Alsafio, and Shadow. And then there's a special guest appearance by JoseRamon. Fighting today with World Crew is yours truly, world famous Paul, Birb, Ardellex, Jack, Dragonzilla, AGamingDragon, Loomistew, the 996 Kid, Wolverine, Godzilla 2019, Jaeger, and the Bill. Anyway, so what we have going on today is scheduled war, like I said. You got KUUC, who's basically, they talk a lot of trash. Now, first of all, let me tell you, KUUC was Strucka. Okay, so look up in our top right corner, you can see all about them. They were a fake clan who didn't even show up for a war. The last video we did literally caused them to break up that clan, which it wasn't a real clan, so breaking it up really wasn't any sacrifice or effort because it wasn't real. And now they formed, or reformed. KUC was a real clan back in the end of last year. But the founders, who are part of Strucka's, this person, Fusa or Lucius, or the guy's got like 20 aliases, so I don't even know what to call them, to be honest. But, oh, and this music is a special request from Angel, so enjoy. But basically, KUUC was a real clan. Then when we found out a lot of toxic things about the founder, this Fusa person, it fell apart. And all the clans, or most of the clans who were members, left. And it really basically stopped existing. That's when this Fusa person decided to start the Strucka clan, but of course that was a completely fake clan. Didn't seem to have any real members. And, you know, that caused them to talk a lot of trash. but then when it came time to do a war, they just didn't have members to show up, which, again, look at our last video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll also learn a lot about the kind of people that were in that clan. So KUUC is essentially Strucka. Same toxic people. You know, now what they're trying to do now is actually show up for some wars, but there's only, I mean, we saw I'll put it up here in a second, but we saw a screenshot of the people in the clan, and literally there's like 5 or 6 members, so there's no scenario where they should be showing up to fight WorldCrew or Dinox, and certainly not both of us together. But what they've done is they have allied with the DD clan, which of course, again, if you looked at some of the past videos, you'll know that the 2 guys from DD clan who founded it are the last 2 leaders of the NZ clan. And of course, NZ clan's considered the most toxic clan. I would call Strucka the most toxic clan, except they weren't a real clan, so they're just like, you know, a fake clan. They're definitely the worst clan in quotation marks because they weren't a real clan. But so really, they just replaced one fake clan with another fake clan. That's basically what it is. Anyway, they're talking a lot of trash like always, and now here they are scheduling a war. And you know, when I look and see who's in the server, I think I only see like 2 people who are from KUUC, maybe 3. I have one of them blocked. Funny thing about them is, you know, you're doing bad stuff when you have to keep changing your names, you keep using aliases. This guy who is number 4 in the leaderboard, this Word Moy guy, the guy used to be called Average Muhammad Fan previously, also has an alias I'm Not Timmy, some other goon name, I can't even remember, but I mean, I've seriously seen 5 or 6 names and accounts, and it's all the same guy. So, you know, those are the kind of things you do when you're doing sketchy stuff. You know, regular people don't have 5, 6 accounts, you know, but these people, they are always doing stuff to like need to get rid of an account or they're getting banned. So they probably have 10, 20 accounts. I mean, you know, they probably can't even count how many accounts they're using. But anyway, I got, from all the other times we fought these guys, normally what has happened when we ran into them, they talk a lot of trash and they stay in the menu. So we started, I mean, a lot of us started just block them in the chat because they don't come out and fight. So if we get in a server with them, they just want to talk trash from their menu and they don't come in. So, you know, I don't even know what they're saying because it's pretty much always you know, silly and, you know, childish. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. You know, they're not real. They're not like real fighters. They basically are always living in the menu. And what we noticed in the last, let's say, month is they allied with our other enemies, which are, of course, the NZ people and DD people. And, you know, their goal is to take down WorldCrew and probably also to take down Dinox. But the thing about it is, KUUC isn't a real clan. There's nobody in the clan. There's 5 or 6 people. I mean, you can imagine that if that's your total clan population, you'll never get them all on at the same time. So any time a war pops out, you're only going to get 2 or 3 of them, which is basically exactly what's happening. And if you watch, you're seeing mostly the Dinox guys and some WC guys just killing the 1 or 2 people. Okay, so here we go. This is that guy Lit confirming that we were not wrong when we were joking around about the last name. And then, of course, Despleto King is not in the server. You never see that guy. Even if he shows up, he only hangs out for about 5 minutes and then leaves. So these guys are kind of funny. But yeah, so they did confirm that the previous name of DD stood for Daddy Despleto, and when Lit, or Darren, whatever you want to call him, when he joined, he ended KTR because I guess KTR got kind of small, and they rolled the handful of people in KTR into DD, and then they changed the name DD to Darren Despleto. So that's the name, but it really was Daddy Despleto, which, you know, we joked around about it. you know, a couple videos ago. But that was the name, which is definitely the worst clan name of all time. So it's a good thing Darren joined, because they can stop being in that embarrassing named clan. But anyway, you know, here we are again. And the thing about DD, if they were smart, they would realize that the KUUC people are not a real clan. And they do all this trash talking. So what, in my opinion, what's been happening, every time we have a war with them, or at least almost a war, it's one or two of these very toxic KUUC people, which is Fusa and this guy Timmy. Again, Timmy's this wood moy guy on the leaderboard. They jump somebody and trigger a war, because what happens is we get pinged in our server, and you know, 5-10 people will come in, maybe more, but then what they do is they ping the DD server, and then the DD guys basically have to fight the war on behalf of the KUUC people, because again, KUUC is not a real clan. They don't have members, and so DD is just constantly fighting the wars for KUUC. Now, the old KUUC had some Russian or Polish clans called KURC and AR, and there's another clan, DMC, a new clan I don't know much about. But those are the 5 clans that are in here, all fighting on the side of DD and KUUC. But you know, the funny thing is, AR, I mean, I don't know if I do it in this video or the next one, but maybe I'll throw some up. But you know, the AR guy, which is their leader's a guy named Bartek, who you will see dying left and right for this whole war. You know, I probably have like 10 DMs from him where he's begging WorldCrew to help him fight and save him from whatever war he's in. And then also the KURC people, you know, I have less DMs begging for help, but essentially they have some rival clans that they don't think they can beat without WorldCrew's help. And it's just funny that they decided to team up with the most toxic people in Kaiju universe. I mean, it says a lot about their character or lack of it. You know, I don't know, maybe there's just some like cultural reasons, you know, that they felt more comfortable working with. You know, again, I mean, but DD and Strucka or KUUC, these are literally the most toxic people that have ever been in Kaiju universe. I mean, just look at some of the old videos, you can see what kind of people were in their servers, what kinds of things, a lot of bigotry, just a lot of toxic behavior. You know, you can't behave worse than them. It's really disturbing, to be honest. And you know, anyone who's teaming up with these people in DD and KUUC, they got some problems. You know, I mean, there's something wrong with them, to be honest, because nobody who's decent would be fighting with them, and I really mean that. So anyway, we are happy that Angel from Dinox invited us to join him in this war, because honestly, we really do not like the DD and KUUC people, and any excuse we have to kill them in the game is just a great, you know, is a good day for us. And this war, just so you know, lasts about 5 hours total. It started in the late morning and went right into like the very early evening of a couple days ago, and you know, we were happy to fight in it. And the funny thing that happened is that the Dinox people are mostly on like a European time zone. So what happened was, as they are kind of needing to clock out, all the WC people are showing up. So we just, you know, I was able to get in here early, and I guess me and probably Ardellex were the two who were here the most. I think Ardellex was here in this war the longest. She had even more time than I did. But the point is, like, we really enjoy fighting these people. Now that's Bartik dying. Just watch and see how many times this guy's Vargoth dies. I mean, look, you know, here I am, right? I mean, I don't even know why he bothers. He's just slow target, and I mean, he's just showing up and getting spawn killed every second. It's really and it just stays like that. I mean, the whole war, he's just getting killed. Here he goes again, like, you know. So this is the level. Now so obviously the DD guys started to come in here. The beginning of this war I didn't even really include because it was just too sad. It was really just 1 or 2 KUUC people and 1 or 2 KURC people, and you know, there was probably like 12 or 13, mostly Dinox and a couple WorldCrew people, and they were just getting killed. I mean, it wasn't even, we were just standing around, you know, 13 people sitting on Florida, and then, you know, one person would spawn in and they get hit with like 10 beams. So it was a joke. I mean, it's definitely, and now see, that's Darren getting killed left and right because, you know, most of DD, you know, and I'm not even saying this to be offensive, but most of DD are starters, at least in this war. Darren's obviously a fairly skilled fighter. You can see his kills, you know, and ranking. So, but he's the only person who's fighting at a high level on their side, and I mean that with all the 5 clans. Everybody else is kind of mid or, you know, starter level. Sometimes the quantities can kind of overpower you. It has happened where it was like we had to fight pretty hard to overcome just a, you know, they had a numbers advantage. But in general, it's kind of a joke because, you know, you watch this video, you'll see they're not really doing anything. I mean, again, this was a almost 5-hour war. This video is about 35 minutes, so of course, you know, there's plenty of stuff missing. There's a lot of kills missing. There's some of my deaths missing. But I mean, this is a fairly accurate representation of how this war went. I mean, I'm barely dying in it. I did die a bunch, but I killed way more than I died. Way more. And I kind of think that was true with everyone from the Dinox and World Crew side. I mean, these guys are just, you know, they're not good. And this is another one. So this was a scheduled war. But, you know, the reason these wars happen is really because they're always talking so much and making all these threats and saying all this toxic stuff. It's totally unnecessary. We actually don't target them or try to start wars with them. We have, you know, like seen them in the server and asked if they wanted to do a war. But we're not like, you know, trying to jump members. If we see 1 or 2 of them, we don't, you know, just ambush them. You know, we just don't want to be toxic. But, you know, of course we don't like them. And if we can get into a war with them, you know, get in the clan server. And again, this is in the clan server, so, and that's why you'll see, like right now, it's a little bit laggy. The pings for me at this time, we're going up to like 400 or 500. You'll see like there's some times where I just cannot hit the opponent. Like the timing is just so off. But it doesn't matter. We just do our best. And to be honest, this is kind of an easy war because the people in here are more skilled than the people we're fighting. Even though the numbers are not, they start off lopsided in our favor, but then they kind of got evened out. But it didn't really ever matter because we just had more skilled players than they did. And I mean, if you look at this is Darren running from me right now, and at some point he was actually complaining that me and like Ardellex were running from him. But what he didn't understand is that, you know, we always have like a bunch of flyers, so what we want to do is let him chase one of us and the other 2 beam him from behind. So he doesn't, you know, nobody's running. This is actually what we want to do. We want him to chase someone, and then this is a perfect example. See how he's aimed at, he's going after somebody else, and then I can come in behind him, or I can beam him like I'm doing right now. That's exactly what we want to do, and you basically will see, you know, he's doing his best. He is a skilled turkey. You know, he definitely is good at playing turkey, but he's dying a lot today. I mean, this can't be that fun. The amount of times he's got no chance, you know, because he's got 2 or 3 skilled turkeys on him the whole time, and he's just one guy. and the other guys fighting with them are not that great, to be honest. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to sound toxic, but they're not pros. But anyway, yeah, I mean, this is kind of how this whole war went. I mean, 5 hours of this. There's some points where they got their numbers up a little, but they never were really in this. I mean, we were winning really significantly in the beginning, and it never changed. Here's Bartik again, dying. I mean, I don't know if he's even killed anybody. Every time I turn around, he's just dying. And, you know, he's this big, slow target. To be honest, this is not the Kaiju you want unless you have a lot of support in the air to kind of keep these little flyers off of you. See, I'm kind of aggressive, and I'll go in and try and get that last death hit. But that's okay. I never fly away and try to heal. I just rather die and spawn back in. But anyway, here we go again. And then he's gonna be there running for his life. See how long does it take? Oh wait, I'll go over here and get a beam on this Incineroar real quick. So no, but we played very well together. This is the first war we did with Dinox, and as you can tell, most of the World Crew guys actually wore the Dinox recolor, which is golden. We just wanted to represent one team in this war, and it worked out great. Everybody fought really, really amazingly together. It was a really good war from our perspective because we won, but it did take 5 hours, you know. So, one thing I'll give the DD guys is they do show up. They will get, you know, a decent amount of people in. You know, it's a lot of their members are, as I said, starters. They got a lot of guys with under 1 million G cells. Doesn't necessarily mean that those people aren't great, but a lot of times, you know, they don't have a wide variety of Kaijus if you basically just started like a couple months ago. And you're probably not like a pro at your Kaiju if you've only been playing it for a couple weeks. So, you know, I mean, like what's happening right now is this is kind of how this whole war went. Some guy comes in as a Vargoth or comes in as a Incineroar or Thermo, and then they proceed to get just obliterated by either small flyers or something small on the ground, and they're just, you know, they can't do anything. And to me it shows, like, you know, with this guy Bartik, for example, it kind of shows that he has limited skill, because for him to keep coming back as that same Kaiju, despite the fact that, like, he's not really helping. You know, he's just a big target. He's easy for everybody to, like, swarm and kill very quickly and get some XP off of him. You know, I mean, here he goes again. You know, it's just, get a beam on him. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's one of the other. Here, this is Bartik right here. But I mean, you know, he's spending way more time respawning than he's spending alive in the game. And this whole war went like this. I mean, just hours and hours of death. You know, somebody else with maybe a little more experience would probably realize, like, this is not the Kaiju for this situation. And look, here we go again. Here we go again. And let me tell you what's about to happen. This guy's about to die for the 100th time in this war. Oh, he's taking all the beams. You know, he's got no chance. And without some other guys in the air, he's just a big, huge target. See, like, we have a Vargoth, but see what the Vargoth can do, because we have so many flyers. That Vargoth can sit there on the edge and use the beam, and he's like a support to the flyers. But if you don't have flyers in there, you're just getting killed, you know. So anyway, yeah, so this is a pretty fun war for us. I mean, again, we would do this almost every day if we have time. Get our missions done. You know, obviously, some people have different opinions about wars in general, but I think that now that there is an actual clan server that's really perfect to do a big war in. You know, I still think that this is the most efficient way to get G cells, to get XP. You know, poor Darren, look at him. But yeah, this is, you know, you can't get more kills, more XP in the time that you're playing. It's, you know, you're basically doing damage on an opponent the entire time. You know, 4, 5, 6 hours of just doing damage on somebody is going to add up quickly. So it's, you know, it's a really efficient way to play. You know, and let's say you were just grinding in a regular server. Obviously, if you grind buildings, it would take forever. But if he's dead again. But if you were, you know, even if you're fighting in a, you know, a regular server, just, you know, doing 1v1s, you are, you know, you're going to be spending a lot of time just like looking for fights. I mean, you got a ton of runners these days in the servers. You know, a lot of times it might only be 1 or 2 people in a city to fight. You know, most of them are starters, which means they're not giving you a lot of XP anyway. So, I mean, in this war, you know, we're fighting. You probably have 20, 25 people, sometimes 30. I mean, the server was full at different points, so that's, I think 35 people could get in here. So, you know, you have 30 plus people with almost everyone's using a max Kaiju, so that's perfect. That's what you want to fight. That's a perfect scenario. You're going to get maximum XP and G cells from those fights. So I think this is a great way to play Kaiju Universe. It's totally different. It's definitely not boring. It's all action. You know, definitely breaks up sort of the typical grinding where you're just like trying to max something or get plus levels. So, you know, this is a cool way to, you know, we're big fans of fighting wars, and obviously it helps to, you know, obviously you can do like a war game, which we do, but it's a lot of fun fighting some people that you actually don't like because, you know, you get to, you know, express yourself, but in the game. You know, like I said, I have a couple of these people blocked because they don't fight, they just yap. So it's like I'm not even gonna look at the nonsense they're writing. But, you know, that's the thing. I just focus on fighting. They are obviously not focused on fighting, which is why they're not a real clan. And that's why when they come in, they die pretty much instantly. I don't even know if they're good at any Kaijus or not, because to be honest, they're very rarely in the fight. I mean, that guy Timmy, who's this word Moy guy, or like I said, he used to be called Average Muhammad Fan, or this guy Fusa. We thought it was a girl for many months, but it's a guy. Again, we'll look at the other video, but this guy Fusa, who's probably an adult. You know, I have no idea if the guy is any good or not, because you don't see him fighting. I mean, that's the leader of this clan. And I don't understand how the leader of a clan is just not in the server. He's just not there. And even when he's in the server, he's not in the fight. Okay, so now what's happened is, at this point, about 4 hours has gone by in this war. And most of the Dinox people have had to log off. And so it worked out perfectly. Like right as they were getting off, the WorldCrew guys got on. So this is kind of the worst nightmare if you're DD or KUUC, because, you know, you're in Europe somewhere, it's starting to get late for you, you want to declare victory, but right as the Dinox guys, it's getting late for them, the rest of WorldCrew's coming in as kind of like the reinforcements and picking up. So, you know, and that's why we switched now to the WorldCrew colors. Nice seamless switch, but, you know, it's not looking too good for it. I mean, you can already see they're starting to leave the server. There's definitely less DD guys, and you can see we're outnumbering them. I mean, let's just see what's going on. This that vault that just died was Darren. Okay, now this is this Scythios, I think it's called. That's Darren right there. But I mean, you know, when he comes in, look what's happening. He's just getting roasted. I'm roasting him. He's getting hit by 3 beams. He's running for cover, trying to save his life. His health is so low. I mean, he's got no chance. This isn't fun for him. And the reason this is happening is because KUUC is not a real clan. KURC they're just a small clan. They're not necessarily like unskilled or anything. Okay, here's Bartik and Darren right here. And look, they're just like standing next to each other, and they're just, look at it. Multiple beams, I don't know why they even bother. 5 hours of this is not fun. Just 5 hours of getting jumped every time you come in. I mean, like I said, he's spawning way more time than he's actually living. That's what he looked like the whole war. Just that white Vargoth in the death pose. And here's Darren over here, and he's got 5-6 people closing in on him. He's got no chance. And you know why this war is happening? Because he allied with KUUC, and they're not a real clan. So what ends up happening is he ends up in all these wars. All they did was bring a bunch of enemies, but they don't bring soldiers to the war. So it's just a complete waste. I mean, we're doing so well. We got a whole bunch of people that are just AFK on the ridge. I mean, they can go get something to eat, go to the store, because they're not needed. Right now we're in mop-up time. But this was a very fun war. It was really cool. Fight with the Dinox guys. Everybody knows how to fight together. So it's bad news if you're DD or KUUC or KURC or AR or whatever this DMC clan is. I mean, you definitely don't want all of these guys in WorldCrew and Dinox who can cover 2 major time zones. And you can see, Lit's gone. They're really, really getting killed. There's one KUC. Oh, look, that person down there, the KUC Lucius person. That's Fusa. One of the many aliases. And you know what? I haven't seen Fusa this whole war. I don't know that he fought at all in a 5-hour war. I mean, maybe he did, but we got 2-3 people. Look, he's not here. None of them are here. We're walking around staring at each other. I mean, this war is basically over. They're obviously tired of just dying left and right, which they ought to be. But, what I recommend is they spend more time putting together a real clan and less time yapping and threatening people and being toxic. Because what's happening is the real clans are saying, okay, well, let's have a war and see, back up all that talk. And they can't do it. They can't back anything up because they are not a real clan. And, I don't really see what the purpose of starting a war, or they'll either literally start a war by teaming on people, or they'll talk a lot of trash, challenge a real clan like Dinox or WorldCrew to a war. And then when it's time to do the war, 2 things happen. Either they don't show up at all, which we saw, again, look at the last video, or they show up and just get obliterated, which you're seeing right now. I mean, this is kind of a joke. This is not a real war. Yes, there's a couple skilled players on their side, but not enough of them. Not enough if you're going to have Dinox and World Crew spawning in, which are 2 of the biggest clans ever in Kaiju universe. And, we got a lot of players, so we can have a pretty good sized force coming in at any time of the day. And here we are, already doing our victory pose. And, you don't see anybody showing up. There's a couple. There's 1 or 2 of them still on the server. But they've obviously had enough. Most of them have fled the server. And, this is just my opinion, an embarrassing loss. Because when you schedule a war, that means you knew about it in advance. It doesn't make sense that you have nobody coming into this server. I mean, I don't understand. KUC had 2 people. Now look at this. This is hilarious. Right after this war, just a couple hours later, that's Fusa, but that's Fusa's Roblox. He added the word retired, which is hilarious. That war was so humiliating that at least for the time being, he has retired. Also, I wanted to say that the MVP from this war, from DinoX, was RosameelcachoDinox. The MVP from WorldCrew was Ardellex, who had about 13 more kills than I did. I was the runner-up. And then the guest MVP was JoseRamon. So those are the 3 MVPs of this war. Big shout out to them. Incredible fighting. But hey, thanks for checking out this video. Thanks again to the DinoX guys for letting us join them today. Hit those like and subscribe buttons. WorldCrew appreciates your support. See you next time.